Recently, I uh, preached a sermon on kindness based on the fruit of the Spirit found in Galatians 5:22 and 23. And kindness, also rendered in other translations as gentleness, um, lends to the fact of being gentle and being kind to another person. And we tend to externalize the fruit of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace, patience, gentleness, kindness, meekness, faith, self-control. We tend to, see the fruit of the Spirit manifesting in such a way that, we're treating others by these fruits, by these standards, by these character traits, loving someone else, um, being kind to someone else, being patient with someone else. And a lot of times we fail to see ourselves as individuals and as a person. And we need to internalize the fruit of the Spirit. And I think in preaching this sermon series about the fruit of the Spirit, that's the biggest lesson that God is teaching me, is not just to externalize it, applying it to other people. Yes, that's important, but applying it to yourself. Because remember, the golden rule is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. How do you want to be treated? How do you want others to treat you? Also, we have, the greatest commandment, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the one that Yeshua said that is like unto it. In other words, it can be put side by side with it, and they can be one and the same. The second is just as great as the first. So in loving the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, Yeshua says, love your neighbor as yourself. Okay, so again, we're externalizing loving our neighbor, but here comes the internalization, as ourself. So before I can love someone, I've got to ask myself, do I love myself? And if so, how do I love myself? In what ways do I show that I love myself? So that's kind of the preface to my confession. My Raw Confessional this time around is sometimes I'm too demanding on myself. I'm not kind to myself because I'm such a goal-oriented, A-type personality-driven person, and I hold myself to higher standards and expectations than I would hold to anyone else outside myself. Sometimes I'm not kind. Sometimes I expect more of myself than I could actually deliver or give, because I'm not Superman. I'm not superhuman. I'm fallible. I'm frail. I have my limitations just like everyone else on the planet. So specifically, what helped me to understand kindness and being kind to myself, and if I can become kind to myself, it's easier and more legitimate for me and meaningful for me in order to be kind to someone else, because it says love your neighbor as yourself. So I've got to love myself first if I'm ever truly able to love someone else. If I'm truly able to be kind to someone else, patient with someone else, I've got to be loving and kind to myself. And as right after I preach this sermon, I come down with this nasty head cold, which I'm still trying to get over. I'm feeling much better than I did. And perhaps you can kind of hear the nasaliness in my voice. But I have a routine, and I'm the kind of guy that sticks to a routine. And when I have to deviate from it, especially when I'm sick, I get mad or irritated at the situation and with myself because I feel like I'm not pulling my weight. So at first, when I got sick, I was still trying to do what I normally would do when I was not sick. Keep my routine, keep my study schedule, keep my workout schedule, keep things, on par. But I found, because I was weak, because I was foggy-brained, because I was tired, I couldn't do it. And I found myself trying to go on as business as usual, but I was inadvertently making mistakes, hurting other people's feelings, not because I meant to. But because I was foggy brained because of the sickness and I wasn't thinking straight, I wasn't at my optimum level mentally because the sickness had made me tired and made me sluggish and foggy brained. And therefore I was saying stupid things, making stupid mistakes because I was trying to carry on as business as usual. I wasn't being kind to myself. I was saying, suck it up, buttercup. Do what you got to do. Push, push, push. And instead of just doing the necessities, I was trying to do everything else in my routine and schedule that wasn't necessarily necessary. Things that would have been fine if I didn't do them, or if I had to set them aside for a while. So the Lord started revealing this to me, and I started to become convicted because I found I wasn't enjoying myself. I wasn't even liking myself. Why? Because I was being too hard on myself and I wasn't being kind to myself. Being kind to myself would have said, okay, I'm sick. I'm not at my optimum level. I can't do all the things that I usually do when I'm well. So I need to cut myself some slack. I need to take a break, and I need to let myself be. I need to be gentle with myself, which is another rendering of the translation, is gentleness. It depends on which translation you use. The fruit of the Spirit is either kindness or gentleness. So I needed to be gentle with myself, just as I would be gentle with somebody else who's sick. I wouldn't expect them to keep up with all their chores and keep up with all their responsibilities and to do, an perfect job at everything. I'd be saying, hey, man, you're sick. Take it easy. Slow down. Don't worry about it. I'll pick up the slack this time. Rest. Take it easy. No, I could do it. Achoo, I could do it. No. I would have done that with someone else, but I wasn't doing it with myself. So again, old thick skull, stubborn, knothead, stiff neck person here, God had to kind of, beat it into my skull. Like, hey, you're an individual too. You're a person too. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Love your neighbor as yourself. You're not loving yourself right now. You're pushing yourself too hard. You need to get over the sickness. You need to focus on recuperation. Do what you have to do. Do what's necessary in your daily life and daily routine. But all this extra stuff, like studying and all this exercise, just give yourself a rest. And I noticed once I started giving myself permission to not study and to not exercise and to allow myself to rest and to take naps, just sit down and do nothing, watch something on TV that's brainless, because usually I don't watch TV during the week. Usually I save it for the weekends, and it's kind of a treat for me. But being sick, I was allowing myself after work to, watch a couple brainless shows and enjoy them because I needed that recuperation, that mindlessness, that rest, that relaxation. I was being kind to myself, just like a parent with a sick child. They come back with a special meal or a special treat from the fast food joint, or a Happy Meal with a toy in it, just a little something extra, or a get well package with puzzles and toys and activities, just to show, yes, I'm giving you medicine. Yes, I'm letting you stay home from school. Yes, I'm letting you rest because you're sick, but I'm going the extra mile and being gentle and being kind with you because I love you. This is another way to show my love. So I had to do that with myself. I had to treat myself because I was sick and be okay with that, with my driven A-type personality, right? So that's my confession. When I first got sick, I wasn't being kind to myself, and the Lord convicted me because I had to practice what I preached, and I was reminded of the sermon that I just preached just that weekend before. And God was saying, hey, dummy, yeah, it's easy for you to be kind to other people. How about being kind to yourself? Because being kind to yourself will teach you how to even be more kind to somebody else. I was like, okay, God, I get it. I get it. And so that's my Raw Confessional, is, kindness and learning how to be kind to myself. And this is sometimes a lesson that's probably the Lord's going to have to show me and convict me and correct me over several times, because I'm thick-skulled when it comes to that stuff, because I want to be productive. I want to be, I'm driven. I feel like if I'm not producing, then I'm not doing what I should do, not being what I should be. And, productivity has kind of become an idol. And the productivity is not the measure of my worth. Productivity is not the measure of my person. If I was in a, God forbid, a tragic accident and I wasn't able to do nearly the things that I was able to do, does that mean that I'm worthless because I'm not productive? No, it just means I have to find other ways to do what I normally do and not focus on what I can't do, but focus on what I can do and glorify God and be productive through what I can do. So productivity doesn't define myself. And a lot of times, subconsciously, I act as if productivity defines myself, and therefore I end up not being kind and gentle to myself when I need to be. So that's what the Lord has convicted me about. Maybe this is resonating with you. Maybe this is ringing true with you because you're the same type personality as I am, and you say, hey, yeah, I get it. I know exactly how you feel. Man, avoid pitfalls as I show them out to you. Let my mistakes help you avoid the pitfalls so that you don't make these and fall into these things yourself, so you don't have to create a raw confessional. I create these raw confessionals because I want people to know that I'm a human being. I make mistakes. I'm fallible like everybody else. But the point is I learn from my mistakes, and I want to expose my mistakes so that others can learn from them and avoid the same sins and pitfalls that I've fallen into. Hey guys, love you. Thanks so much for listening. Go out there and have a great day. God bless, and be kind to yourself. Abraham'sDescendants.com, getting back to the first century in a 21st century way. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to press the like button as well as the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and the notification bell that'll let you know every time I make a new video. And don't forget to share this with a friend. Also, visit our website at Abraham'sDescendants.com. Thanks. Shalom. Thanks for watching. Stay connected by subscribing to our other social media accounts and visiting our website at Abraham'sDescendants.com.